You are entering the Poirsha Fit experience of holistic wellness. Your mental and physical health are now your number one priority. Guided by the wisdom of our ancestors, of mindfulness practices, and using food as our medicine. Healing ourselves naturally is our daily mantra. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Poirsha Fit podcast. I am your host, Poirsha. Today is jam-packed, filled with client conversations for all of you to hear how I've acquired new clients, what their challenges were when they came in, what our plan of action is to get them stronger or more flexible depending on their own little injuries and weaknesses, and how some of my clients that I've had for a while, what we have done in their sessions to get them from being weaker, having some injuries, and how we brought them back to health, and how some of my clients have been noticing little bits of transformations along the way as they've just started out. So let's get into this talk. Before we get into them, we'll talk about my 90-day challenge and how I'm doing with that. I am currently day 82 of my 90-day challenge of, as some of you know, of jump roping every day and training with kettlebells. I started out jump roping for 3 minutes. Then about a month in, I jumped for 5 minutes. Then I bumped it up, I don't know, about a month later to 8 minutes. And now for the past 10 days, I've been jumping for 10 minutes straight. How exciting. My goal by the end of the year, when I started October 3rd or 4th, was to be able to jump rope for 10 minutes straight. And I've already been doing that. I told you last week that at 10 minutes of jump rope, that's when I started sweating. And as you know, when you're working out and I don't know, if you're trying to lose weight or see results, you want to be sweating in your workouts. In this 90 days, which will conclude at the end of this year, I actually had to take a couple of breaks. I had to take one break last Sunday because I had some weird little back knot that I couldn't get out. I was rolling on. So I just needed to get horizontal for the rest of the day, which I did. So I laid down, and I told you all I missed my holiday party because I just needed to lay down and roll on my yoga tune-up balls to release that tension. After taking that break, the next day, I just felt so refreshed with my body doing the kettlebells. So after doing 70 something days straight of throwing around heavy kettlebells and jump roping, the body really feels heavy. And I'm already really heavy because of how much muscle I have. So tack that on with lifting heavy every single day, not taking a single break from working out, it becomes to be a lot. But I wanted to challenge myself because I went from literally not working out. Well, technically, I'm still working out because when I teach mat Pilates classes, I do the whole workout with the students, but that's not my workout. That workout is for my students, which they're in a different space than I am. So I need to tone back the workouts to make sure that everyone comes back. If my students had to get the workout that I actually needed, no one would come back because they'll be dead. So I needed this challenge to kickstart my own personal practice, which I've been enjoying tremendously. I'm so grateful for myself to doing this because even though I had to take a few breaks in this 90 days, and it's not going to be like, well, you went 90 days straight, you did take break. That's fine. I had a mission and I accomplished it. I've been able to show up every single day to do my workouts when I'm healthy, which is most of the days. And also, I was able to jump for 10 minutes way earlier than I planned on. I planned on doing it at least the last few days of the month. And here we are right now. I jump roped on Saturday for 10 minutes. And because I took that Friday break, I felt so light while I was jumping. This is the lightest I've ever felt. The 10-minute jump rope felt so easy. I was like, oh my gosh, I could continue going. The only reason why I didn't continue was because we were looking at Christmas lights and I was on a tight schedule down to the very minute that I needed to work out and shower and drive to go pick people up. So I am going to see about it today, you guys. I think that I can jump for 15 minutes. I'm going to tack on an extra 5 minutes today. I'm going to do my best. And here's how I'm going to do it. Okay. I'm going to first make a 15-minute playlist because, I've been making playlists for the 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 10 minutes because I need the music, right? So that's first. Second, I'm going to record it because I've been on film many times. And when you're on film, you cannot mess up, especially if you're doing a whole hour workout in one take. There's no taking breaks. There's no fumbling. So this is going to push me to make sure that I do not stop even when I want to quit. So this is a Poirsha way of making sure that I hit my goal. The last one, number 3, is going to be see what happens. I'm going to see what happens. I'm open to it. I don't think I'll fall out and die. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to try 15 minutes. And then, of course, as you know, I'm going to be like, well, what if I can do 20 minutes? And then what if I can do 25? And how about by the end of 2025, will I be jumping for 25 minutes? Did I just create a challenge for myself? 2025, 25-minute jump rope. And then where does it end? I don't know. I'm going to have to see, but let's just start with 15 minutes of jump roping today. This is going to be a major feat, I think. Pretty darn cool. Okay, so that's happening. I'll let you all know what happens next week or either Wednesday or Friday's podcast episode. So as far as the kettlebells go, what I've noticed after 77 days of kettlebells, I'm starting to feel tightness in my muscles, and I'm just starting to feel like the wear, like a little bit sore, I think is the feeling that I've been feeling. It's like, ugh, that's how I feel when I think about lifting the bell, like, ugh, or I need to stretch more now. Because when you're using these muscles daily, they're contracting, right? So it's kind of like they're constricted and then you're always making them tight. So you need to release them. But I'm not doing full body stretching. Like what I need to do, honestly, is I need to stretch my forearms, because when you're gripping the kettlebell, you're using your forearm muscles. So I have very strong forearm muscles and they get tight because they're constantly in that grip. And then when I do Pilates, it's gripping, or, planks and push-ups. It's a lot of pushing. It's a lot of grip. And I just need to honestly do some more pulling. So that's what I'm going to incorporate for 2025, more pulling into my workouts and maybe some more myofascial release of my forearms and my shoulders. And then my bicep tendon starts to flare up. So I got all kind of things going on that I need to work through, but I just feel so much stronger in these 80 plus days than I did when I started. And I'm definitely not going to stop. I'm just going to continue doing these workouts. And the peak for next year is going to be me getting certified in the kettlebell training. So that's going to be the icing on the cake, the cherry on top. for all of my hard work. In this hard work, I have also been building up the strength and the stamina to prepare me for what's coming. Drums. My new business venture, which is going to launch January 1st, which I've told you all about, my online membership group called the Poirsha Fit Club. So it is going to be a monthly membership group where it's online. I'm going to host weekly health talks to the group members. I'll be offering 3 classes a week. I'm thinking I might do 2 on-demand classes and 1 live class per week for all of my members. So you're going to go from not being able to do workouts to now having 3 workouts ready for you whenever you're ready every single week being in my group. And these group classes are going to be custom curated. So whoever's in the membership group, I am going to ask what you all want as far as your workouts go. What are your limitations? And I'm going to customize every single workout to those members. It's going to be fantastic. So there's not going to be anyone who's like, well, I'm not at that level, so I can't do Poirsha's workouts. I'm including you because I want you to be able to show up and do the workouts. I will create beginners, but everyone's beginner is different. So I'll need to know your particular limitations, and we are going to get you stronger and more flexible to give you more balance, be more agile, because these are things that are important, and how you can move more functionally. So the movements that we do in my classes are specifically tailored to help you to do the daily activities that are required of you. So if you have to bend down a lot, if you have to stand up a lot, if you move around, you need to be able to do those with awareness, have the proper strength, the flexibility, the mobility, and the balance to do it. And a client recently told me that she noticed from our session that she really needs agility, the ability to walk around the house without slipping, falling, to be able to just be light on her feet. Because what happened is she broke her foot or broke her ankle somehow just by walking around in her house. She said she wasn't paying attention and tripped over something. And voila, she's out for 6 weeks, you guys. And she's like, it was only because I wasn't working out. So she loves Pilates because she feels like that's the missing piece that she's been needing to help her to stay healthy in her daily life. I'll get into my other client who broke her ankle or injured herself recently. But that's going to be a part of this group. And also, we will have monthly health themes. So whatever the healthy theme that I choose is going to be, maybe it's a green theme where for 2 meals a day, you have to eat something green. So it's little stuff like that, just things that are fun. Then we'll have monthly group events. Maybe they'll be online, or if most of my group members are in person, we can do group outings. So I was thinking of, we'll be going to gardens. I love gardens. We'll be going on hikes. We'll go to the grocery store and learn how to grocery shop, looking at labels and how do you decide between buying this product versus this one, right? This brand versus this brand. What are the benefits? How is this one going to help you over another one? Looking at the sugar content, right? That's important. Seeing, let's say, yogurts. What are the probiotic counts in that food? What about non-dairy options for people who have upset stomachs when it comes to dairy? So all of these things we are going to learn being in my group, because this is important. These are things that are natural and normal for me. And this is how I've stayed healthy and fit and strong all these years. And so it's my time to impart this information and knowledge to you all. Also, we will have monthly challenges. Our first challenge is going to begin February 1st. I'm calling it 30 and 30. It's going to be 30 minutes of workouts every single day for 30 days. And guess who's going to create the workouts for you? Me. So all you'll have to do is schedule 30 minutes, push play, and I have the workout for you to go through. And if that doesn't work, of course, I'll cater it to you and we'll just talk about it and we'll make sure that you are successful. And this weekly health talks is going to be for all of you to get on a call with me, and we will give you time to share how your week is going with whatever goals that you have set out. What are your fitness goals? What are your mind goals? We will also have 6 goals that we will address in this group. The 6 goals are physical, mental, spiritual, relationship, which is platonic relationships and romantic ones, career, and passion and purpose goals. So I will know those in detail, and we will be working on these actively throughout our membership journey together. The mantra for the group is start small and simple. So that's what we are going to do. There's so much to address as far as physical health and mental health. There's a lot packed into that, but we are going to start small and simple. So my job is to give each one of you small, simple steps towards achieving your goals. And you better believe that in 2025, you are going to achieve one or many of the goals that you have set for yourself. I am a goal-driven person. I always have been. And that's what's made me so successful in my life, in my physical health, in my career, because I'm always striving to do more, to be better, and to just stay curious and see, what can I do? What can I accomplish? Can I do it? You never know if you can do something if you haven't tried. How many times have people told you that? My mom told me that growing up always. You never know until you try it. So it's best to try it no matter what. And I'm the person who has done the no matter what. No matter when you didn't want to do it. It was the worst thing you could ever imagine having to do, and doing it anyway. So I'm your leader. I'm your coach. I've got you covered. Any of the lame loser excuses that you're going to give, I've given those same loser excuses to myself. I've said them out loud to other people. And then I also heard myself say those excuses to people. And I decided to change. I don't want to sound like a loser. That's a defeatist mentality. What do I do to flip this switch? How can I actually try and do it? How can I actually succeed and excel? What do I have to do? I want to be different from everyone else. I don't want to sing the same loser song that everyone else is singing. Oh, well, it's hard. I've tried, but I can't. Well, why can't you? Let's deep dive into the loser talk and turn it into winning talk. Because you know that saying that they say, losers focus on winners and winners focus on winning. That's what this group is all about. We're about winning. We are a team. This is a club. I just visualize it as our club team, our sports. Remember in high school when they had clubs? We had like Black club. There was like the Asian club. Like, I don't know how cool that is nowadays. But the point is, it's a club where we're all here together for a common goal, which is we need to achieve optimal health. Optimal health can only come from the health of the body and the health of the mind. This is not just about working out. That's not enough. I've seen it. I know people who work out every day and who are still mentally weak, mentally not okay. So we need to address the mindset, and unlocking what's going on in the mind is going to help unlock what's going on, what's missing in the physical health. How are you eating? Why are you eating it? It's because of your mindset. Why are you not working out? Why are you not scheduling time for yourself? Ooh, that's a different level of what are your beliefs. Your beliefs are the reason why you do or don't do things. And you are completely unaware that you are holding this belief. And the beliefs that you are having are holding you back. So we need to dive deep into our subconscious mind and pull out, to shine a light on what is this thing that's holding me back and why. And that's when we really start to take off. And I'm on this journey with all of you because I'm always on the path. I feel like till the day I take my last breath, I'm always on this journey to improving myself, to getting better physically and mentally. How can I be more resilient? How can I push myself in a way that's still loving? That is the challenge. And this is what this group is all about. Getting results. This is not one of those gym memberships that you sign up and you pay monthly for and you don't show up. I will kick you out. We will have conversations and they will be loving ones. But if you're not showing up, if you're not participating, if you are not doing the work, I will lovingly and kindly kick you out. Because we can't have dead weight on our teams. Everyone has to do the individual work. And when we show up individually for ourselves, we show up better for the group. Think about a team sport. Think about yourself at work if you didn't do team sports. Everyone has a role to play in order for the team to be successful. So I want you to play your role. I'm going to play my role. I know the weight of my role and the position that I'm going to hold. This club has been in my mind for years. What does this group cost? It costs $108 a month to be a part of, which is a huge, huge discount and value. The value that you're going to get out of this $108 is going to be insane. To be able to change the way that you think so that you can improve the health and fitness of your body and of your mind, that's only $1,300 for the entire year to achieve the goals that you've been lagging and dragging on for decades. I paid $10,000 to be in a group for a year to learn how to run my business online without social media. This is nothing close to that. So your investment is so small, and it's going to be the biggest, best decision that you've made for yourself in your life. I just know it. And I'm excited to be a part of this journey with you. Because guess what? I've already been where you are. Once upon a time. And some of them not that long ago. The long ago was the overweight. I was overweight and unfit at one point in my life after ditching sports, done with college. And now it's time to get into my career. I put on a lot of weight. She was thick. Okay. Little chunky. And I needed to lose that weight. And it took time for me to figure out the thing that I could do consistently. It took time for me to finally, only in these last 80 something days, did I decide to give up sweets, which I've eaten a few here and there, like some ice cream here and there. But I gave up the cakes and the cookies and the snacks But that took so many years for me to do. When I went plant-based back in, what was it again? I forget. 2019, 18, I don't know, to whatever. Way back 7 years ago, I was eating salt and sugar every single day because I guess my body was like missing the salty sweet from giving up the meat and dairy. I had vegan donuts every day for an entire year on deck that Whole Foods made. I mean, you have no idea the extremes that I've done. Just last year alone, I never went a day without eating some kind of cake or cookie. I always had them on deck. All vegan, of course, who cares? But they were, and eating donuts for breakfast and muffins for breakfast. Like, what the blank? After all these years of doing that, I finally only in the last 80 something days decided to say, okay, Porsche, enough is enough. You're done with that. And so far, so good. So it's never too late to progress in whatever stage you are. And once again, we take small, simple steps. And that's what I want for you because it's gradual. You can't just make all these different changes all at once. It's too overwhelming. You're not going to last. There's burnout. So little by little, we progress. Okay? So I'm the person to guide you because I relate to you. I'm not on some high horse looking down upon anybody. I'm down here in the depths, in the dark, in the hole with you. I climbed myself out on my own, and so I'm here to lend a hand to pull you out because I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like to finally get on the other side of that, to finally be in a position where I don't feel like I have to get summer body ready. My body's always ready for bathing suits. It's always ready for midriff tops. It just is every season. So we stay ready so we don't have to get ready. So that's consistency. That's what you will learn. The biggest thing is you're going to learn is consistency and how to get back on track when you fall off. It's what I'm fantastic in. It's my strength. Discipline is my strength. Lastly, the workshops I will be having, and I will have members only exclusive retreats. These will be additional costs on top of the 108, of course. So that'll be fun activities for all of us to do, just having bonding experiences. So all of you can come together, and it's not about me. It's all about you guys and us creating a community where you have friends. You have accountability partners. You have people that you're looking forward to seeing and chatting with every single week. You'll be able to communicate in posts in the platform. Say your thoughts. Have people cheer your thoughts on, right? It's going to be great. And also what's going to be available to you are member-only pricing for one-to-one private training sessions. If that's what you want from me, it will be virtual. I will coach you as long as you have Zoom or some sort of FaceTime availability that I can see you, you can hear me, and I will train you from home. How fun is that? Also, if you're looking for nutrition and lifestyle coaching, you need more one-to-one individualized custom plans. You'll have that at a membership discounted rate. So you guys are getting so much by being a part of this membership group and this club. It's going to be one of the best things, the highlights of 2025. I guarantee it. So you'll be able to, as of January 1st, start signing up to be a part of this group. And that's that. And it's going to be something that I'd hope for you to invite your friends. If you know somebody who would want to join in so you guys can buddy up together, great. If not, join by yourself. And guess what? You are going to meet other people that you will like. And my goal, my vision is that you guys start hanging out. You never know who you guys could live next to each other and not even know it. You could be walking buddies and workout buddies and talking on the phone buddies. This is going to be a great group of people. We are focused on health and wellness, and that is the number one priority. So reprioritizing your lives to reprioritize yourself as number one. Yes. For me, I'm just like, oh my gosh, finally, Porsche. Finally, you're doing this. All right, let's get into the commercial break. Let's get your gut health balanced. Did you know instead of taking pills for probiotics, you can eat food and drinks with probiotics in it? Consuming real food is my number one choice and first recommendation for all of my clients needing to improve their gut health. Can you guess which kind of food it is? Yes, it is fermented foods. Fermenting Fairy is a fantastic company whose products are formulated to feed and support gut health. I found this company, I started buying from them, and I am a fan. My favorite part is it's all plant-based. They have so many delicious varieties. They have ginger applesauce, cinnamon applesauce. I still eat applesauce as a snack. There's a variety of sauerkraut flavors, caraway and fennel, dill, ginger, carrot, lemonades with lavender, elderberry, ginger, all kinds of coconut milk kefir. Right now, a brand new vanilla spice pear sauce and a new tart cherry lemonade. I'm hungry talking about it. So go to their website, fermentingfairy.com. Use discount code PorshaFit to receive 15% off your orders. This past week, I trained 2 men. It is very rare nowadays that I get the opportunity to train more men than I already do, because Pilates requires a level of vulnerability into the unknown. People see the Pilates Studio and the equipment looks very intimidating. Everyone says it looks like a medieval torture chamber, which they're not wrong. It's all the wood and the springs and who knows what's going on in here. We have a Cadillac, which is this big bed that looks like and has tall rails. And then we have the reformers, and we have a high chair. It looks like maybe some kind of medieval electric chair. Then we have a small chair. It's like, what is that thing? It looks pretty intimidating, and people are intimidated, especially men, because men don't want to feel weak, right? They want to feel strong, especially in front of a woman. And from what I've heard, an attractive woman, men don't want to feel weak in front of. So that's what they're dealing with in their minds, even though we all know that Pilates was created by a man, Joseph Pilates, who from the ingenious mind, the inventor mind that he had, he was the one who created all of these different pieces of equipment. Way back when. So this isn't a female practice. This is built from a man who was training men to get stronger, who were injured from a war. So they say, right? I don't know. That's what they said. So more men, we would like to be doing this practice because it is a strong practice. And it also does require a lot of flexibility. So I think that flexibility piece is where they're not so interested. But men also need to be strong and flexible. And most men don't realize how important their flexibility is until around their 40s, when they don't feel as strong as they did before, or they feel like they're not able to lift as heavy. And then they think like, I don't feel like I felt yesterday. Why? Well, it's because you're like me. You've been training a lot. You've been contracting your muscles and they get tight. They need to release. They need some kind of length and stretch and myofascial release. That's the muscle release of tension. And you can do that either with your hands by massaging. You can use the yoga tune-up balls. And the best way to do it is to actually stretch. Your ligaments need the lengthening, because when they're contracting, contraction is short. So they're actually shortening, unless you're in eccentric contraction workouts where you're using the strength of your muscles while they're in a lengthened, stretchy state of being. Men don't like to do hard things. That's just well known. It's what they say. Why do men have strong upper bodies? Not all men, of course, not all. My cousin, you got those arms and you got those legs. Congratulations to you. But there are many men who focus on their upper bodies. They're so strong in the upper body, but their legs are like little twigs. My girlfriend and I talked about that one day and we were cracking up. Like, I'm going to need you to do some leg day. And some of you guys need to do glute day. You guys are so focused on women having big butts and whatever. Well, women like men with nice toned, round, lifted glutes. So stop skipping glute day too. But it's just like being built like Mr. Incredible, right? He's all big and burly and bulky up top, and then he has these little twig legs. Then you have Mrs. Incredible, who's just got body. She's just dripped down with the body. Yes, so Pilates is going to give you that full body workout where it evens out the body. Like, you're not going to have these huge arms and these little stick legs. You're going to have nice toned arms, toned abdominals, toned legs, nice and sleek. In Pilates, we construct a sleek physique because we don't want to overtrain certain muscles and undertrain others. We like to have a nice balance of training the arms, the back, the abs, the glutes, the legs. We want it all well trained, nice and balanced as best as we can, so that you have a very proportioned body. Let's talk about these two men. One of the men, he's 50 years old, which is very young in my opinion. I told him that in our training session. He's like, 50 is young? I'm like, yes, dude, it's young. Talk to your 90-year-old self. If you were 90, what do you think you would say about your 50 years? Oh, you were so young. You had your whole life ahead of you at 50. Yeah, we got to change the perspective. He straight up told me in our very first session together that he hated Pilates. He worked with a coworker of mine a few times and he just didn't like it. It was uncomfortable. He said he was heavier in weight, about 30 pounds heavier. And he's tall. He's 6'4". So he felt like the exercises just weren't for him. I heard that and I made him feel more comfortable because I told him, hey, I've trained a former NBA player and we had many sessions together. He got great value from our workouts and he never complained that it was uncomfortable. So that kind of has to do with you as an instructor. What kind of exercises are you giving the person? How do they feel? People who are heavier, you don't want them laying on their backs and lifting up, doing sit-ups and things because it's too constricting on their air passageways. How we train, ideally, not obviously, ideally we train people who are heavier like we would train someone who is pregnant because they have a big belly. It's just too much to be laying down on your back and then lifting up against gravity and all that weight that's pulling you down to push yourself up. So we do the negative training. Instead of laying down and lifting up, you'll start sitting up to lower down, but you only lower down as far as you can come back comfortably. Anyway, I wasn't intimidated or scared by his I hate Pilates and this is uncomfortable. I just knew that whoever he was working with just missed the mark on that for him. He also has frozen shoulder. So what does frozen shoulder mean? I'm sure you all have heard about it, but I did a little Google search just to get the definition right for all of you. So frozen shoulder by AI / Google is also known as adhesive capsulitis. It's a condition characterized by pain, stiffness, and limited range of motion in the shoulder joint. So for all of you, imagine that your shoulder is legitimately frozen. That means it can't really move. So he has such a limited range of motion. Him just trying to lift his arm, literally, just reach your hand up. If you just did roll call and said, hey, so-and-so, are you here? He can't even raise his hand to say here because it's frozen. It's stuck. Okay. And so the inability to have range of motion in the shoulder, it impairs your life. He can't do so many things that he would like to do. He was very active and can't do those things. He does train with weights with a trainer who I also trained with a couple times a week, but he's not able to do overhead movements. He's barely able to take his arm out to the side under load, with the weight in hand. There's just a lot of things he can't do. So I'm just curious as to what those personal training sessions look like. I have no idea, but I assured him that is something that I want to work on in our sessions together, because I tore my labrum in my left shoulder years ago from falling off of a bike. That whole story is actually really funny. I'll tell you guys another time. So I went to physical therapy to rehab it for an entire year. And I also did Pilates and yoga, and I did fitness classes at that time. So I was able to heal my body by strengthening those muscles and also giving them a break from doing handstands. So I took a break from yoga, doing handstands and chaturangas, which are planks and lowering down. I just took a break completely from that for at least a year. Stop doing that because you're overdoing the work of the shoulder. Now, his solution is a solution that most people think that you should do, is it hurts when I do this, so I no longer do that. And I no longer try to move the shoulder around because I'm afraid of flaring it up. Because that is one of the things that happens with frozen shoulder, is it inflames and it causes more pain. But that is the incorrect solution for your frozen shoulder. What you actually need to do is to mobilize it. It needs to move. I'm like, dude, we have to unfreeze your shoulder. You can't live like this forever. You're 50 right now. Fast forward 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. What is your shoulder going to look like if you don't address it? So these are the pictures that I paint for people. And when you put it like that, he's like, oh, shoot, you're right. It's only going to get worse. So let's address it now. He wants to run a Spartan race or do some kind of Spartan something where you're climbing and jumping up on walls and you have to do burpees. He wants to do that. He cannot. He has to lift a lot of luggage. He can't. So I'm saying that, yes, you can. And here's how. So I started him out with using resistant band. So it's a long band. So some of you know the resistant bands, that's like a loop, and you'll put it around your legs, you put it around your arms. This one is just a long band that has tension and it's like buoyant. So you can pull it out and bring it back in and do all kinds of movements with the shoulders with this band. So that's the work that I did with him. And he was just like, ooh wee, his shoulder got fatigued very quickly. Just imagine standing there with your arms reaching forward, right? And you open your arms out to the side and bring them back in, and open your arms out and bring them back in. And then your arms reach forward. Now you reach your arms up by your ears. Reach them forward, up by your ears. Now keep your arms up by your ears. Reach them out to the side. Bring them up. Bring them out. So we're doing all these different movements with the arms, and he's struggling. And I gave him a resistance band on top of it. We need to unfreeze the shoulder. We need to do the movements that he's afraid to do. But he's afraid to do it because he's not experienced. But guess what? He found me. I'm experienced. I know what I'm doing. I know how to unfreeze his shoulder in a safe manner. In Pilates, we focus on shoulder stabilizing muscles, how to activate them, how to turn them on. Because mostly people who have shoulder issues, you're not using the proper muscles for certain exercises. You're overusing other muscles. For me personally, I had a tendency to overuse my upper traps. I was, as my teacher would tell me, you're getting very trappy. It means you keep lifting your shoulders up. You're not pulling your shoulder blades down and packing the shoulder as we use in kettlebell training. We must learn how to use the lower trapezius muscle, the middle fibers. Get out of the rhomboid, squeezing your shoulder blades together and hiking them up to your ears. We need to use the lower traps and our lats. So inviting more of your rotator cuff muscles and your back muscles to help you with arm movements instead of just relying on your bicep and your tricep. So there's more to explore there. So after this session, he was like, all right, you got me. You got me. Like, he's going to feel it, but he wants more. So we're training again for the next 2 weeks. We'll see how these sessions go, but I know that we can improve the movement of his shoulder by doing this work. So the other male client that I trained with him once, he is about, I don't know, he could be late 20s, early 30s. I don't know. He's black, so he looks young. The other guy's black too. He definitely did not look 50. He looks great for his age. Both of them do. So this next guy, he's strong, like you see his muscles and his arms and his legs. However, his ab strength was not so strong. He was shaking and trembling every time he had to curl up to do somewhat of like a sit-up and to lower back down. That was his struggle bus. And every time he would use his arms to pull down a spring, he was up in his traps. He wasn't connecting his arms with his back. So I noticed a lot of shoulder and back weakness, disconnect. His abdominals were weak. Did I tell him that? No. I didn't have to tell him anything. He was noticing it. And what I need to do sometimes is I have to demonstrate the exercises so that they know what we're doing, because it is weird in the Pilates studio. Who knows what's going on with this weird equipment? So I need to show them. So as I'm showing it, my gift is I make everything look easy because I've spent a gajillion hours perfecting it. So when I do something, then he does it. He's like, dude, I'm doing something wrong because I don't look like you. It's not that easy. It's really hard. I can't do it. One of them was a plank. So we call this long stretch, doing a plank on the reformer. So reformer, the foot bar is up. So your hands are on the foot bar. So you're high up and your feet are on the headrest. And you push out and pull the carriage back in. You push out with your arms and pull the carriage back in. But you're keeping your body in a plank position. He was struggling. His back was sinking down. He wasn't engaged in his core. His legs were not engaged. He wasn't using his glutes. He wasn't using the connection of his lats. It was just a lot that he wasn't using of muscles, and that's why he was not successful in the movements. And that's what we were working on the entire 50-minute session is to get him connected. It was only our first session together. So the first sessions are great for people so that they can see where they land. Like all the works they've been doing out on the field or on the court. What am I talking about? In the gym? On the floor is what I meant to say. All the work they're doing out on the workout floor. Let's see how that translates in the Pilates studio. What it translates to, what it looks like is you guys are actually very weak and you don't realize it. When you're lifting heavy weights, you're overcompensating. And you're not paying attention to the fact that every time you lift your arm up or you're doing something heavy, you're getting into those upper traps and you're shrugging. You're actually not using your back muscles. You're not using your abdominals. You're not using your glutes or your legs. You're just literally using an arm. And how that looks is imbalances. As time goes on in your life, you realize you can't do certain things. You're limited. Why? Because you missed out on using those important muscles. He said something smug. He was like, I asked him, I was like, hey, do you stretch? And he was like, stretching is for old people. I might have laughed like, I was like, that is going to catch up with you very soon. I saw that. I knew he wasn't 40 because men in their 40s know good darn well that they need to stretch to even get out of bed to feel okay. The body will catch up to you. So please, this is a PSA announcement. Everybody needs to stretch now. Whatever age you are, you need to recover. If you don't do a warm-up, fine, I guess. You 100% need to do a cool down stretch. At least, at minimum, 10-minute cool down stretch. If you can, ideally, it would be 20 minutes. So I would suggest or recommend a 5 to 10 minute warm up and a 20-minute cool down. That's ideal. But, we got to start what? Small and simple. So even if it's 5 minutes to start, and guess what? I just started filming a few YouTube videos for warm-ups. So right now I'm on warm-ups. So you guys will start seeing 5-minute warm-ups. I will get to the cool downs later, but at least I want to start with 10 warm-up videos for all of you. That's only 5 minutes long. Those are important. Warming up the body helps to prevent you from injuring yourself. I realize when I do kettlebell training, lifting heavy weights, I need better warm-ups because that's how I hurt myself. Trying to pick up something heavy on cold bodies, that doesn't work well. So this young little whippersnapper, I don't know if he's going to continue with sessions. I will follow up with him. The ego is something, something special and can prevent you from continuing doing something that's hard, something that's new, and something that you're not so good at. I wasn't always so good at Pilates either. I have videos to prove it. My roll up was on the struggle bus when I started out. Now it's smooth as a baby. My movements look effortless. I make everything that's hard look so easy because I've practiced time and time again. And I don't practice just to get through the workouts. I practice for perfection. And I know I'll never be perfect, but that's working towards it. You practice towards perfection and you land at excellent. So I just want to exude excellence in my body and also in my life, but we're working on that too. If I want to be excellent, I need to organize this living room I'm looking at right now. All of these shoes that need to be washed. All right, focus, Porsche. So these two gentlemen, these are their little situations that I'm going to work on that frozen shoulder with him. I'll follow up with the other guy and see if he's brave enough to continue doing this work where he feels weak, he really should do it, because can improve his lifting weight, right? So that should be an ego booster in and of itself. If I do this work to work on, as my teacher calls it, Jill Miller, the blind spots in your body, that means the spots that you're not paying attention to, he can open up so much more strength in his body than he has right now. And what do all the guys want to do? Move up in weight. You want to be able to lift heavier. I was actually eating breakfast on Saturday morning, and this guy was sitting at the table with his friends. They came in so loud and so rude. It was a nice, quiet meal on the patio that I was having, and then they come in like literally yelling. I'm like, seriously, dude, what happened to your inside voice? Anyway, this guy was like, yeah, I PR'd the other day, 405 pounds. Yes, that's how he sounds to me. 405 pounds. And in order for me to do it, I had 3 Red Bulls, a pre-workout, and he drank a lot of coffee. Like, seriously, dude? You needed all of that caffeine to be able to hit your PR? Why? Because he wasn't using his muscles, everybody. He's just relying on some kind of weird adrenaline, some sugar high, rather than relying on your skill that you've built over time. And that's the difference between people who work out on the fitness floor versus people who work out in the Pilates studio. We actually work on skill, full movement. And I was able to translate all of my training in yoga and Pilates into lifting heavy kettlebells. I can lift very heavy at an intro level because I know how to use those muscles. I can access them. So, it's not for everybody, clearly. Some people just don't want to do the little tedious work. They want to do whatever is easy and whatever feeds their ego. And this, nor Pilates or yoga, is that practice of ego. It's understanding we have goals and we want to be able to push ourselves, but we want to be functional also, right? We don't need to be top heavy and your legs don't work. You're all strong in your arms, but your legs are weak. How does that work in real life? That's not going to serve you well. All right. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go into detail with my other clients that I wanted to talk to you about their injuries and how we've overcome them. I ran out of time. Hopefully I'll get to it next week. You never know what's going to come up this week that I feel I want to talk about instead, but this is valuable information for you to know about with them. So just take the lessons that you learned from what I said for today. Consider joining my monthly membership group. You're only committed for the month. It's just a month-to-month thing. I would like you encourage you to stick through it for at least 6 months because you need time to implement and start integrating these new lifestyle practices into your life. And remember, we're starting small and building it up. So it's a progressive thing. I think if you can commit to just sticking with it for at least 1 year, that's going to be enough to gauge how much progress you have had. So that, and then also remember, if you have a shoulder where you have injuries, get it looked at, start addressing the injury. The best way for somebody to heal themselves, it's here in my notes, is to first have awareness of what your limitations are. And second, to give attention to it. So that's what we are doing in the group when you work with me. It's what I do with my clients when I work with them one-to-one, private training, or even consultations for health and fitness. It is you need to first be aware of what's going on. What are your challenges? What are your blind spots? What are you not seeing? I can see that for you if you can't see it. Second, it's time to attend to it. just knowing that you have a problem is not enough. That doesn't fix the problem. It's needing to attend to the problem, give it attention. So with my 50-year client, I am going to attend to his frozen shoulder. And with that attention to it, it's going to heal him. I know this 100%. He is going to be able to improve in his daily life movements and in his personal training sessions. I guarantee it. And if this other guy, this younger guy, continues to work with me, you know what I'm going to work with him on? All those areas that he was weak, and also his flexibility. We need him to stretch. I need him to stretch because I know that his future self is going to appreciate that. This is a work that I'm committed to, creating awareness around your body blind spots and giving it attention. And I will teach you and take you through how to do that in a safe manner. It is my gift. It is what I love. That's all for today, you guys. I will be back on Wednesday giving you a little midday breath break. Even if you don't listen to it Wednesday, you can listen to it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whenever you want. But I will be back in your ear on Wednesday. Thank you so much. You'll hear from me then.